So sadly, Magnolia Masques is actually not a very good deck. Yes, it is a new deck from the new set for the English people out there from BT12. But I think honestly, Magnolia Masques is not that good of a deck. I think it's alright. It's very fun though. I think this deck has a lot of potential. This deck profile is a little bit weird because I decided to stray away from like what people are regularly playing. It's not too different, but hopefully y'all understand, because honestly this deck has a lot of flaws and I'm just trying to have this fit to my own playstyle. Of course, I think there's already a lot of Magnolia deck profiles out there. So yeah, let's just start with the right line. I guess I can put the deck somewhere else. Okay. So starter, I don't think I have to say anything about this, but Rancor Chain. As you know, set 1 card, basically it says act on Vanguard circle once per turn. You can Soul Blast 1, draw 2 cards, and then you discard a order card from your hand. And if you did not discard, you need to discard 2 cards instead of just 1 order. So yeah, and then it's just a rearguard skill that's basically just when if you play an order, he pluses 2k continuously. So you basically use him because on right you get to draw 1. So yeah, that's pretty good. And then we played this thing. I forgot what's this thing's name. It's a Goldo. You know what? It's fine. I'm not gonna pronounce his name. So I decided to play this instead of the Zorga Grade 2, because honestly the Zorga Grade 2 is fine, but if you don't have if you discarded away 2 cards, which means you don't have an order, the Grade 2 from the Zorga literally does nothing. Whereas this, at least if you have this, you might be able to get back some soul, because this deck has soul issues. In fact, this already soul blasts, and then a lot of cards soul blast. So basically what this does is in drop zone, when your Vanguard in Magnolia in its card name is placed during your right phase, if your soul does not have a this dude, Goldo, you put this into your soul and then you choose one of your Vanguards and it passes 5k. So yeah, so basically this goes into soul from drop really easily, just like this. And there's another skill which is back row rearguard circle. When this unit attacks, it pluses 10k until the end of the battle, and then at the end of the battle, this is at the center back column. Actually no, just center column. You can retire this and then draw a card. So this is like your new inlet, because we don't really want to play inlet in this deck. You can play inlet. I'm not saying it's bad to play inlet, but I just prefer not to. So we play this instead in the right deck, because you basically soul blast this out and you get to revive it with a bunch of different cards. And of course we have Magnolia, the trial deck Magnolia, or like the old Magnolia. In fact, let me just bring this out. So in the right deck and in the main deck we play one of each. One in each. So her skill, his skill, whatever. At the end of the battle, this unit attack CB1 and choose one of your rear guards. At the end of the turn, this unit can attack from the back row and it passes 5k, and then if you personal right, you choose 3 instead of 1. So you don't really use this skill at all because you just go into mask. But the reason we play 2 is because if you actually need to go into this, you can at least persona and then give 3 units attack. And yeah, also this is like additional copies just to remove with your Magnolia Masques so they can retire more cards. So not bad. Like I think playing 1 extra copy in the main deck is fine. I don't think playing more than 1 is correct, I guess. But most people don't even play 1 in the deck. They just play 1 in the right deck. So yeah, and let's just hit on to your actual main card of the deck. So it's kind of off-centered, which is Magnolia Masques. Yes, so this card can only be ridden from your Grade 3 Magnolia, yes, obviously. Yes. During your turn, continuous, all your rearguards on a Dragon Tree marker can attack from the back row and plus 10k. So this is the ability you want to capitalize on, which is basically you get a bunch of Dragon Tree markers and then you just attack from the back row. And they also plus 10k, which is the bigger thing. And then act Vanguard circle, remove a card with Magnolia with a different name than this unit. And this unit gets, when your rearguard attacks the Vanguard from the back row, you choose one of your opponent's rearguards and retire it. So basically, that's why we play 2, because you can at least do this twice per game. Yeah, so you can basically remove, you have target removal in this deck, which is pretty good. But the thing is that if you only play 1 Magnolia, that means you can only do this once in the game and your opponent can kind of bait you, I guess. So playing 2 is not bad. And then you basically just use this, you use the first skill, the Dragon Tree marker skill, to basically, it's the main the main focus of this deck, which is to basically just attack 6 times, and then with the retire skill you get some form of board control. And the numbers on this in this deck is actually not bad, because like your front row will be pretty small, your front 2 row rear guards will be pretty small, but the back row will be relatively big. They'll be either like 40 or 30, and swinging 40 like 3 times is pretty big. I don't think you'll hit 40 on all 3 back row lanes, but you'll probably hit at least 30, 33, about there. So yeah, also don't forget, this does not persona. Yeah, it does not persona. It only does persona if you use your Mask of Hydrogram. So yes, speaking of Mask of Hydrogram, Mask of Hydrogram, here is Mask of Hydrogram, which basically it's a order that says when you play it, you look at top 5 and then you choose one unit with Dragon Tree or Masques in this card name and reveal it, put it into your hand. Yep. And then there's an X skill in drop that you can activate even though you play an order. So yeah, this is it doesn't count you as playing the card, so you can activate the drop skill that I'm about to say, as well as another order. So anyways, the drop skill is act on drop. If you have a grade 3 Vanguard without Masques in the card name, you can reveal a grade 3 Masques from your hand and then ride it as stand. And then if you roll, you put the Mask of Hydrogram into your soul, and if your opponent's grade 3 or greater, you perform persona right on that right. So yeah, so you get to draw, you get to do normal persona right shenanigans. So going first, we still use this because I don't think staying on your normal Magnolia is good going first, unless you really don't have any combo pieces. Then yeah, of course you can just stay at Magnolia and just not do anything going first. But in this meta where like everything is fast, I prefer you just go into your mask going first. Anyways, so going to the grade 2s, we have 4 Depths Irelis. I'm gonna pronounce him like this, right? Depths Irelis. So basically what it does is on place, CB1 Soul +1 and choose one of your rear guards without any Dragon Tree markers, and put a Dragon Tree marker there, and then you search your deck for one Mask of Hydrogram, reveal it, put it in your hand. So yeah, that's your way to get Dragon Tree markers in order to fulfill at least 3 in Magnolia Masques skill. So that's what I meant by this deck needs a lot of soul, because every single time you generate your Dragon Tree markers, you need 1 soul because of Depths Irelis. Of course, you have another card that doesn't need to use soul, but our Rancor Chain uses soul. Other cards we do play, like this Zero uses soul, so you really need to be careful about your soul, but it shouldn't really matter. The thing about this deck is that you don't really have a lot of like good quality hand, and like if you don't draw your pieces, you can't combo at all, which is the only bad part about this deck, because this deck doesn't really have search. I know there's this new promo order that allows you to actually look at top 7 and search a card, but it's hard to find, and I've chosen for an alternative order for that. Going on to our next grade 2, we have this new card that is Forced Glow Dragon, I think. Forced Grow Dragon, okay. Anyways, when placed on Vanguard circle other than during the battle phase, if your Vanguard is Magnolia Masques, you CB1 and then you choose 3 or less, choose grade 3 or less cards from your drop zone to the number of Dragon Tree markers in your Vanguard circle and you call them. So basically, if you have let's say 3 Dragon Tree markers, you just choose 3 units that's below grade 4, like basically no grade 4, and then you just call them. So this is what you use to build a field, which is pretty good. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but if it gets noisy, I like to apologize. Yeah. Anyways, it has a second skill as well, which is basically when this unit attacks, choose one of your Vanguards with Magnolia in its card name, and it gets plus 5k on the end of the turn. So this card doesn't plus 5. Your Magnolia Vanguard plus 5, which is it's fine. But it's just that I kind of wanted this card to plus, because this deck's numbers isn't that high. But it's fine. This card builds a field. Next, we have another grade 2, which is this thing. It looks like a llama, but it's a Alpine. Yay, I love Alpines. So basically the skill is on Rearguard Circle when this unit attacks a Vanguard. If you have a Vanguard with Magnolia as card name, this unit passes 5k for each of your, for every 2 grade 2 or greater units. Yep. And then if this unit gets 10k or greater by this effect, at the end of the battle you bind him and then you counter charge 1, soul charge 1. Yeah. So basically this gives you counter charge, gives you soul charge. Soul charge is pretty big. The counter blast is also pretty big because you know, you need this for CB. Everything that you're gonna make a Dragon Tree marker with costs CB. Your board builder costs CB. I mean, I don't know if that's the right thing to call what makes a board. I haven't played this game in a while. Sorry guys. That's why I haven't been making a lot of content because I've been a little bit busy. Sorry about that. I'll be getting more into the flow of producing videos. Yep. So yeah, because a lot of things in this deck cost CB and Solas. I think this card's really good. I almost wanted to play 4 because seeing this guy is always good, but honestly I think most of the times I would just much rather see this, or much rather see, you know, Depths Willdress or other cards basically. Also I forgot to mention that Magnolia Masques doesn't cost CB, so technically this deck is not CB reliant for its skills, but CB reliant to get your Dragon Tree markers. Yep. So going into the great ones, this is probably the most important card of the deck, aside from your other mask cards, which is Serol. I don't know what's its full name, but it's fine. Serol. So basically what it does is when it's placed from Rearguard Circle from your deck or hand, not drop by the way, so you cannot revive this with your dude and then try to use the skill. No, you can't. If you have a Vanguard with Sylvan Horn Beast in this card name, you can Soul Blast 1 and you look at the top 5 cards from your deck and you choose 1 card with Magnolia in its card name and you add it to your hand. So that's pretty nice. But then as a continuous Rearguard skill, which is continuous Rearguard Circle, if you have a Magnolia grade 3 in your Vanguard Circle, your persona right increases the power of your back row units as well. So this is really nice because the thing is, your back row would usually be smaller due to not having the persona right numbers, but not anymore because this card really helps with that, and this card is really what makes your back row be able to reach numbers like 35, 33, 43. So it's really good. Also the search skill is pretty good as well, but you usually don't use it because you have Soul Blast for better stuff like Ibelis, like what else? I guess Rancor Chain. yeah, you consider Rancor Chain as a better Soul Blast option. And another card that is right here also uses Soul Blast. That I think it's much more prioritized than Mr. Zero to search, but searching is still good. Don't worry, searching is still good. It's just that I just don't like the searching from Zero because it's just top 5, and a lot of the times you do miss. Sadly enough. Anyway, so you have 2 Bistarvas. I don't like these names. Bistarvas. So basically what it says is when this card is placed on the Rearguard Circle, you CB1 and you choose 1 of your Rearguards without Dragon Tree markers and you give it a Dragon Tree marker. So this is another way for you to gain Dragon Tree markers on top of Depths Willdress. And you have Act Rearguard Circle once per turn. If your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you CB1 Soul Blast 1 and you choose a normal order from your drop and you add it into your hand. So what this means is that you can blast this out of your soul after you use this for mask, and then you can use it again because if you didn't use the order that turn, you can use it again and then you can search for either your Irelis or another beast, I don't know why, or like your Magnolia Masques so that you can personalize next turn. So yeah, really helpful card, honestly. It's a pretty good card. You want to play more? Oh yeah, also the ratios in this deck, I'm still very unsure of, and I'm also playing like very less variety of cards in this deck, just because I think I'd rather see like more consistent cards and play a lot of different cards. But about this Starvas, 2 is fine. I think I'd like to play 3, but honestly 2 is like fine enough. You'd see him often enough. But the sad thing is that obviously if you don't see a lot of these cards over here, you're just gonna cripple and die. Sadly enough, if you're thinking about this competitively, you're playing this for fun, yeah, it's a really fun deck. Don't worry, this deck is like really fun in terms of Overdress. So there's another order. This is basically the second order that we play in this deck. The first one is of course Who's it? Oh yeah, Master Hydreigon. So this is the second one, which is Frozen Resentment. So basically what it says is play this with Soul Blast 1, and then you look at top 3 cards of your deck, and you choose one and you mill it, and then choose a card from your drop zone with grade less or equal to your Vanguard, and you call it to Vanguard Circle. So this is like your way of like searching from drop. So instead of this, right, some people play the is it Mysterio? I don't know what you call it. The promo order, because the promo order basically searches from your deck a card, whereas this searches your drop for a card. So you have a lot of variety for your drop. But the issue with this card is that firstly, it costs Soul Blast, of course. And the second issue about this card is that if your drop zone is full of nothing, good luck, because this thing is not gonna help you at all, sadly. It does happen sometimes if you break and you have nothing in your drop good. Yeah, this card just does nothing at all. So I do agree that sometimes the promo is better because I think it's free, right? Yeah. It doesn't cost anything. This costs Soul Blast, but I do like the variety that comes with Frozen Resentment. So yeah. Also PGs, but I don't have my hands on the good PGs. Sorry. OT, I don't think you'll play blue or red OT. Stoichea OT is. Oh my camera. Oh my camera is like over here. Never mind. Okay, so basically, OT, you don't play red OT. Neither do you play blue OT, because I think that's correct. You probably play this. I don't know if you'll play Elementaria. You could, not saying you can't, but I don't know how good is it. But honestly, come to think of it, putting 2 units out of 6 attacks that can do 100 million is not bad. But okay, maybe you can play Elementaria. Wait, what am I talking about? Oh my god, what am I talking about? I meant the Kree Elemental OT. I forgot what's his name. What's the dude's name? That guy is on the screen. So, this is our trigger lineup. Okay. So we have 8 crit, 3 draw, and 4 heals. I was thinking of like increasing draws. Also, yeah, I don't have the effect draws, sadly. But the thing about draws is that it won't really help you early game, because crits will really help you early game in its 15k shield. Of course, late game nowadays, these 15ks and 10ks and whatever Ks, they don't matter. All you need to do is draw in your PGs and you'll survive. That was one of the reasons why I was considering playing more draw triggers. But I think I'm okay with this trigger lineup unless something weird happens. Yeah, to play fronts, I think fronts are fine. I think they're fine, but this deck really wants to see its pieces that a draw trigger is very, very appreciated. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, that is it for the deck. So, really nice deck, really fun deck. I think this deck has a lot of potential. You know, if better cards are produced by Bushiroad, like better design cards that don't like work on their own, I think this deck can really do a lot. Like, honestly, as of now, if you high roll with this deck, you instantly win. There's nothing that you can really do to stop this deck, because this deck is mainly an aggro deck, I would like to say. But it's a little bit mid-range because you need to actually go into the late game. Not late game, like mid-game, in order to actually like go crazy. Maybe I can show you a combo. Yeah, maybe I can show the combo off. So you have 3 Dragon Tree markers like this. So yeah, let's just say we have something like this. This kind of field is what you're trying to go for. It's not the best field, of course, but it's something, because with this dragon, this Force Grow Dragon or something like that, it can call out your right deck grade 2. You can call out your Beast, and this especially, this is really nice in order for you to get back your resource. But of course, you're minusing 1 because you're binding this away in order to do things. So in terms of power lane, this in itself, let's say your Persona, this will literally be, because of Magnolia, this is +10. Because of your Dragon Tree marker, it's another +5. Because of Persona, this will be another +10. So this is going to be 33. And then with this Alpin, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4 units, it'll +10. So this on its own is 20 +10 here, so it's 30, +5 here, so it's 35, and then plus Persona, because it's a roll, is 45. And then you bind this, And then this will swing, I don't think this is against power, yeah, okay, no, against 10k. And then at the end of the turn, it goes to drop and then you draw one. So this card is not bad because getting to draw one is really nice in the deck. So yes, usually you would first swing with maybe one of these first, and then your Vanguard, or like if you want to, you can swing with Vanguard first because whatever checks you get is always appreciated. You can palm it here, you can palm it here in fact, so that everything actually hits, because usually the front row will be really small. So yeah, in terms of board, like building a board, early game, I would say maybe capitalize on this, because this is your way to find your cards and then call some cards. Which is the reason why I said that soul is pretty important. Which is the reason why I said soul is a very scarce resource. Kind of scarce. It's not the most scarce resource, but it's kind of scarce. And of course, you really want to redraw for your Depths Willdress, or at least Beast of Vidas, so that you can actually find a Dragon Tree marker. Like at least one. Like you can at least play the game with one Dragon Tree marker. But ideally, you at least play with two Dragon Tree markers in the game. But obviously, best case scenario is to play 3 or 4 or 5. You will never reach 5, but 4 is good enough already. So yeah, that's it for the deck. Yeah, so I haven't been posting a lot recently. I haven't been doing a lot of Overdress content. I've been playing Overdress like a lot actually, but the thing is I haven't been doing a lot of the content. Maybe it's just because I don't feel very motivated, don't feel really interested in doing any kind of content for Overdress, because I think it's fun in the sense that the game itself is pretty good. Not that it's good for content, like or the content that I would like to do. So I haven't been putting out a lot, but I'll try to. I was pretty busy for like the past few months because of examinations, so I think I'll be able to spend a little bit more time to express more about Overdress and more that I want to show off from this format. Oh yeah, to give you a general take, I think this current format of BT13 and Lyrical, I think it's fine. I don't think it's the best format ever. I guess I like how the game is a little bit fast now, but what I really don't like about this format is that your 15k shields really do nothing in late game, which sucks. Yeah, that's a general thought, I guess. Stay tuned for more. I'll be posting more deck profiles. Maybe I'll be going through maybe I'd like to do some analysis videos of something somewhat. So yeah, see you. Bye bye.